Okay, right. Give me a second here. Turn the music down. All right, so good morning to each and every last one of you. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you all got some good rest from a short work week for some of us. I know I worked 4 days throughout this week, but we're not going to talk about that. We're here to talk about Defending Jacob. Let me see. Give me just a second here. Get everything together. Defending Jacob was directed by Peter Hall, and it starred Chris Evans, Captain America, Michelle Dockery, and Jaden Martell. We all know. I gotta look into who Michelle Dockery. She's phenomenal. I can't think off the top of my head what she was in, which is sad. Because so early, but we know Jaden Martell was also in It. He played the stuttering kid. He was Georgie's brother, and I can't think of his name as well either. But we know him from It. He's also in Nice Out with Chris Evans, and Chris Evans has just been knocking it out of the park. But well, with this performance, but we'll get into that later. So let's go ahead and get into it. So what's crazy about this? This is a Defending Jacob is a 8-part series. When I first saw the preview for this series, I thought it was just like a movie. I mean, I thought of like the way how it was portrayed in the in the commercial. I thought it was a one time movie and that's a wrap. And while watching it, I didn't know it had after it ended at 1 hour, like 1 hour, so it was like a short whatever. I didn't know what was going on, and so I'm like, oh, look at it, and because I have Fire Stick, you can also if you have Apple TV, this is a stream from Apple TV, but you also do Fire Stick. So I watched it through Fire Stick, and then I saw that it has other episodes. It has 8 series, eight episodes to it, all 1 hour. Me personally, I felt that you probably could have wrapped this up within 5 or 6 episodes. And if you get a chance to watch this series, you'll know what I'm talking about because some things are drawn out a little bit longer, and it's just like you want to keep that intensity going. Not saying that the intensity throughout the series did not continue to go, but it was just some parts where it's just like okay, like it could have been. That's just my opinion, though. It could have been like 5, 6 episodes, but yeah. So defending Jacob, pretty much what is going on this character. So, also, what I did not know about this film, I mean, this series, is that it is an American crime drama novel, which kind of I didn't know about that till like at the end of this. It was written by novelist William Land. Sorry if I'm butchering the last name, William Landay, and the book was published in January 2012 by Random House. It tells the story of a father dealing with the accusation that his 14-year-old son is a murderer. Man, let me tell you something right now. My, this right here, it's scary to think of it because you hear about this a lot. Well, I won't say a lot. I won't say I pray and hope that things like this doesn't occur, but it does occur in our society today. And it's just like you show the thing that you always want to keep a child in a child place, and you want to protect them, and you want to make sure they grow up and have a wonderful life. You want your child to have a better life than what you had. I mean, that's why we go to work. That's why we work hard. That's why we sacrifice working these long hours at work. Why we have to maneuver things around to take these family vacations to spend time with your kids and family. And you want and you pray and hope that your kid or that carries your last name or your stepkid or whoever you're watching over that's in your household does not go out and commit a heinous act because or something horrible that doesn't happen to them because it tears you apart. Witnessing it's like that's your life right there, and that's what's going on in this series. So Chris Evans' character, he is an assistant DA, and so he's very good at his job. He has a great life. happy wife, beautiful home. He has his kid Jacob, who is a great student, very smart, very intelligent. Um, but what happens is that the murder hit that he's looking into takes place not too far from his kid's school. He's on the case, and so as things start to unravel, his son becomes prime suspect number one. Now he's booted off the case, and the others have to come in to take on this case. Now, if you being a district attorney or lawyer or whatever, and you're very great at your job, and you know for a fact that you can defend you want to defend your family member, you want to defend your son, but the fact that that's your son, you can't do it anymore. So that right there alone is eating him alive with himself. So as things start to unravel, I'm gonna get into spoilers later on. As things start to unravel, and you want to think that your child did not do it, and throughout the whole series, it's up in the air. Like, did he do it? Did he not do it? You get this one thing happen that's like, man, he did it. Then there's another thing happen like, no, he didn't do it. Then of course you have the people like witnesses or people that might come up and make up things, or you got someone trying to, or then you got people themselves making it worse because when it's out in the news, it's out in the news. Even if your kid is or family member, whoever is innocent or not innocent, you still have that hovering over your head. And as the family has to find another way of living life in this society, in their society, in the film, the series, you see that they have to go to the store extra early hours in the morning, like right when it opens, so they are not, so they're not terrorized by the public or the media, taking pictures. There, people are taking pictures whenever they see them as a group of leaving the house or whatever. But there's certain precautions you have to take in order to avoid all that to try to live somewhat of a normal life. But after this, it's like there is no normal. You won't get close to normal after this because there's always going to be people out there who says that no, he did it, or you're going to say people out there that he didn't do it. So it's like you're famous for the wrong reasons, and for something like this is just like it's going to eat away at you. And so you see that slowly eats away at Chris Evans' character, Michelle Dockery character, especially her, because she's just like, and they go to a psychiatrist, and psychiatrist talks about it. Have you noticed any behavior out of your kid? And it just you start to question everything with that kid. Like you start playing in your head. It's like, does my kid does this? My kid? I'm like, no, no, not my kid, not my kid. And that's what's going on with both parents. And so you have to be careful what you say and what you do, how you act in public, because that eye is just on you. People are just like zeroing in on everything that you do. Like for example, the mother, Michelle Dockery's character, she went to the store early in the morning, and you know you if me as a person, as a human being, if I'm going to the store and I'm just grocery shopping early in the morning and I've been paying attention to this case and I see this person whose son is accused of murder, if I see that person having a good time, just laughing up, you're gonna look at it like, man, something's not right, or just something just plays into your head. And which what happens to her. She goes to the store and she starts hearing music, she starts feeling good about herself, she finally feels relaxed and at peace. And us as viewers, we kind of we feel happy for her because the tension is so high. But when she's dancing and smiling, she it may sound cliche, but she winds up seeing the her son's her let me word this right. So the classmate who is dead is a little boy who bullied Jacob. So the mother of the deceased son is now inside the store, and she sees the mother who was dancing, prancing around, smiling, having a good time. Your son is alive. My son isn't. Your son has been accused of killing my son, and I see you. She goes up and she spits in her face. I'm gonna let you know right now. You spit in my face, we fighting. I don't care. I mean, hey, but you gotta that been a rep for me. We have that right there. Where bing, 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 bing. We have it right there at the stove. I'm like, hey, hey man. I know y'all can say it's cold blooded and everything, but then that right there would have then I would have been see that's why I can't be in stuff like this. That's why see then my whole family would been looked at as known for being known for being violent, hurting people and stuff. I'll beat the lady up or whatever. I'll beat the man up because I don't hit women. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. Don't come at me. Don't come at me with all that mess. But anyways, so but that just giving you an example of what they have to deal with, what they're going through. Uh, so Jacob, this character, man, this kid is he's a great actor. Flat out playing something. He's a very, very good actor because the way how he plays this character is like he seems like a real quiet kid, and he seems like he's more to himself. He's real personal with who he lets inside as a friend. Um, I guess because he just paints that character, that kid that does get bullied, um, but he likes to stay to himself, and he has minimum friends, but it's something odd, something off about him. And you'll if you watch it, you'll see what I'm talking about. You're like, nah, there's something off about this kid. And so as the story goes along, they also tell him, of course, since he's the one that's accused, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that. And a 14-year-old kid being a 14-year-old kid, if you take away a video game from him, this is you take a video game away from him, he's gonna try to sneak and try to do it. If you take a laptop away from him or a phone or whatever, you try to give him some type of privilege, to give him some type of freedom, so he can calm his mind or have some type of live like a normal life, even though despite the fact of what he's going through, but he's listening, but he's not listening because he's going to be a kid. He doesn't. He's like he's not. He's not contemplating how serious this is, and he knows it, but he's going to be that kid. Like you tell a kid not to do this and do that, they'll hear you, but sometimes, not times, but sometimes they're gonna do it just because they're curious or whatever. Which, but hey, it's just some kids just work different. Some work different. That's just how it is. So, like for example, it's this crazy website that he goes on and posts a story about what's going on, and it just throws everything out of the window. It just makes everything 10 times worse than what it is. And they tell him they go hard on him and say, "Hey, man, you can't do this, you can't do that." They snap at him, and he starts breaking down. He's like, "I'm sorry, it was just a joke." But you can't play around with things like this because of what's so serious about it. So I'm just telling you guys about how the tension was within this series and what's going on, what took place. Like I said, everybody knocked it out of the park performance wise. Chris Evans did phenomenal. Like I love this performance. Um, so far he's came so far from early movies he used to do to who he is now. And I think this was filming during. I want to say this was filming during the Avengers Endgame, I think, or yeah, the whole Avengers stick because he had that full beard going. I think I read that somewhere that he had it. So if he was doing this while he was doing Endgame or the whole Avengers thing, which I'm pretty sure he was, man, hats off to you, brother, because your schedule was just so tight, and all the other actors and performers and everybody worked behind the scenes. Hats off to them for making it. The tone for this series is always it's a real heavy tone with the lighting and with everything as you watch it. The ending. Okay, so let's get into spoilers real quick. So if you don't want to know hear about the spoilers right now, I want you to go ahead and stop it right now. And thank you guys for coming. Bye bye. But if you want to continue to listen to this review, let's go ahead. I'm going to continue. Like I said, hey, five, four, three, two, one. Okay, spoilers. So J.K. Simmons is in this one. I did not know that. So, and I started laughing when I saw it. I'm like, so J.K. Simmons, I guess he, you might as well say that what J. Jonah Jameson is just terrorizing Avengers. I kind of laughed at that when I saw him in it because J.K. Simmons was in 21 Bridges with Chadwick Boseman. He was was one of the main villains in that one. J.K. Simmons was in the last Spider-Man, Far From Home. He caused Spider-Man some problems, and now he plays the father of Chris Evans' character in this series. J.K. Simmons' character in the series is locked in prison. He's in prison for life, pretty much. He was known as a rapist and a serial killer. And so what happens is that he comes into the story later on. I think the fifth or sixth episode he comes in, and Chris Evans tells his wife that his father is in jail, has been in prison and she never knew about like whatever happened to her father because he always kept that to himself. And you don't go around talk. He just doesn't feel comfortable talking about it because he has a lot of hatred and anger towards his father. And them two right there, I wish we could have seen the banter between those two a little bit more because they were just not, they were just going at it with each other, with being angry and tense with each other, and I loved it. And he hears about his J.K. Simmons character hears from outside of the prison watching TV that his grandson is on trial, and he stops at nothing to make sure his grandson does not get thrown in jail. So later on, he as the trial starts to get more intense, he finds out about that this one guy who was a child molester came into play, and his name came up during this case. So his the grand J.K. Simmons character had a guy on the outside that pretty much, how can I say it? Well, yeah, that's pretty much he had the child molester admit that he did it, that he killed the kid. Because and then after that, people thought that he committed suicide. No, the hitman that J.K. Simmons hired pretty much strangled and killed him. And so that's how Jacob got out of this court case. But the story doesn't stop there. The last episode, you found out about this like at the last episode. The last episode didn't do it for me. It the it was so intense throughout the whole thing, but the last and final episode is when it all came in. Because at the beginning you find out that, well, at the last the seventh episode, you see the guy who's the child molester, I forgot his name. He's writing a note. And the beginning of the final episode, Chris Evans' character wakes up, gets a phone call saying that guy did it, and then he start putting two and two together. He goes back to the prison, start talking to his dad face to face, and they're arguing. And he said, "Hey man, you had anything to do with this?" He's like, "Yeah, but you can't prove this. At least that one guy gets his, and my grandson is Scott. He's going on free." So, and that's when they showed like he was crying and he was writing a note saying that he's the one who did it. He did that and that. Um, so he Chris Evans just had enough. He left them, said what he had to say about to his dear old dad, and then they said, you know what, since all this trial went off, like I think it was like a year or so, he went off, and him and his family went off on vacation. They went on a family vacation, and Jacob winds up getting the interest of another girl named Hope. Whew. And so they're having a good time. Him and Hope hit it off, and then they were supposed to go to a party, but Jacob left early. So Jacob left early, and then Hope winds up missing. Dun dun dun. So, but of course, the police come in. They start questioning Jacob because they start questioning him because he was the last one seen with them. And when he was there, when he made it back home that night, and his parents asked him about how was the party, he told them that he left early. They asked him about his shirt. Was where happens to your white shirt? He said he lost it or misplaced it on the beach or whatever. And so these things, small little things, start coming up, and you start thinking like, this kid killed this other little girl. Like, dude, like my gosh, what's wrong with this kid? So, come to find out, The girl winds up coming up on shore. They found her. She's good. She's okay. She's crying. See her parents, ooh, and she's trying. She's okay. But while before all that happened, before she was found, Chris Evans confessed to his wife that J.K. Simmons, his dad, caused the what had a play in the court, had a play for the and Jacob, not being committed as guilty, and so it started messing with her head a lot, um, and so they're like, we're done, that's it, we're going back home. They come back home, and as all this, oh, I forgot to mention, as all this is going on, they do a little the way how the show is shown flashback to this, fast forward to this, of a hearing with Chris Evans and another rival lawyer, and he's asking these questions about what happened to this, what happened to that, what happened to this, trying to get more out of it, and so it keeps playing with your mind, like, so what happened, and the way it's set up is beautiful. It's just that the story was taking so long and dried out. So as this series came to an end, what happened is that the mother was so distraught and so out of it, thinking that her son is a killer, feeling like it's weighing really heavy on her. So what happens is that they're supposed to take Jacob to go get a haircut. She winds up taking him instead of Chris Evans' character. And so they're going down this highway, it's wet and rainy, cars are passing by, and she starts speeding up and speeding. And she starts asking him, hey, start asking the son again, did you kill this person? Did you kill this person? What did you do? What did you do? She's talk about the kid that was killed at the school. And so she's speeding up, and so Jacob is just like, he's terrified. He's like, Mom, just slow down. And she just kept driving, like, just be honest with me, tell me the truth. And then he says, I did it. I did it. Whatever you want to hear, so you can stop. And he goes back and forth. Mom, I didn't do it. Mom, well, he doesn't go back and forth. But he says, whatever you, he's wanted to stop driving fast because he's scared. So he said, I did it. Whatever you want to hear, just stop. Because he just wanted to stop because they're about to crash. They go, bam, smack, dead into the wall. Car crash. So after that happened, both of them, you would think that both of them are dead. You think both of them are dead, but surprisingly, they're not. They made it. So now they're both in the hospital. They are being treated for their wounds. I mean, both of them laying in bed. They're out of it, of course. Bandages all over them, blood and everything. They're trying to recuperate. I think the mom, I think she has some memory loss, and she's just they're. I mean, it was just poof. It was a lot for one family, and then the way it ends, Chris Evans is inside his son's room, has a drink, and he just exhales and just looks worried, and that's how it ends. So that's the book. I know it was a long review, guys. Thank you for standing out just to hear about how this series was. Good series. It was just that last episode didn't do it for me. I just didn't like. That's just my opinion. I just didn't like how it kept. I know all about ambiguity, but it's just that for this, I was like, give me that gut wrenching. My job is about to drop finale. That's how I felt like it was going to set up. So in the book, let me see. I'm gonna read a little bit to it. Let's start off. Let's see. Okay, let's go all the way to when they went to the vacation. After the trial, they've been cleared and everything. They want to go on vacation. So I'm gonna read a little bit of this to you, then we're gonna end it right there, and that's gonna be it. So, wanting to put the whole ordeal behind them, the Barber family decided to go on vacation. Their last name is Barber, to Jamaica. I think they went to Hawaii in the TV series. There, Jacob meets a girl named Hope Connors, and the two become close. One day, while they are relaxing at the resort, Lori notices a red stain on Jacob's bathing suit. The next day, Hope is reported missing. Her body is found several weeks later, washed up ashore, with evidence pointing to her windpipe being crushed. Hmm. Lori becomes convinced of Jacob's guilt and, in turn, feels guilty herself. On their way back from an interview, Lori crashes the car she is driving with Jacob in it, instantly killing him while sustaining critical injuries herself. Andy, which is Chris Evans' character, is questioned in connection with Jacob's death, but refuses to corroborate or incriminate Lori in any way. Afterward, Andy tries to imagine the final moments of Jacob's life and what he would have become had he lived. So, that's how it ends in the book. That's how it ends. So, um, yeah. So, me overall, I thought the series was very good. The performances, man, it's very good. It's very intense. Um, has you on your edge of your seat. I just feel like they drew some things. They kept drawing things out to prolong it, and I don't think they needed to do that. About 5, 6 episodes, they probably would have been good. But other than that, oh, and just the ending. That's it. That's the only thing about the series that I just didn't like. Other than that, I think that overall, bravo, good. So, anyways, if you guys seen or watched Defending Jacob, or if you read the book, comment below. Tell me what you guys think, and then don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And until next time, I'm going to the next review. You guys have a good one. Peace.